Hey, yo, what up? It's the King of K doing a K-pop review on Bangtan Boys' comeback video and title track, Danger. As well as I want to give a little bit of my thoughts on their full-length album because I checked the rest of their songs on this album. Very surprisingly, Bangtan Boys are back with their very first full-length album. I didn't expect them to come out with one so soon, considering that they've only done, 3 mini albums, and it hasn't been really that long since they debuted. Has it been a year? I think it's been about 1 year since they made their debut, and already they're dropping their first full-length album. So, their comeback was one of my most highly anticipated comebacks for this summer, or even just this year in general in K-pop. So as for the song and video first, Danger. First thing I heard about Danger, when the first beat dropped, first thing I immediately thought was it sounded a little bit like 2PM's 10 out of 10. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it was funny because when the music started to hit, immediately my mind clicked back to that and I'm like, Micho, no, Micho. Oh wait, this isn't that song. It's totally different. And it changes up to be something totally different. But it does have a little similar sound. If you go back and listen to 2PM's 10 out of 10, it has a little similar sound to it. But it has enough, enough of its own identity to differentiate itself from 2PM's song 10 out of 10. So it's still its own song, but you hear just little trinkles of it. It reminded me of that song. However, Danger is still a kicking beast track. It's not R&B, but it does have a hip hop vibe. It's got a little R&B trace in it, but not too much. But it still has that strong hip hop urban flavor to it. I love the chorus for the song here. I think it's very catchy. The choreography, I think, for this comeback is probably BTS's best choreography since We Are Bulletproof. And I love the choreography for that song. And the song itself was fantastic. It's my #1 favorite Bangtan Boys song. But the choreography I thought was just as entertaining. This choreography I think matches that, or it's been the best choreography they've done since We Are Bulletproof for that song. The video itself, the video reminds me of multiple other kind of like K-pop videos. The video reminds me of a little bit kind of like BAP's One Shot a little bit. It kind of reminds me a little bit of that. It doesn't have a storyline like One Shot does, but it does. Some of the elements kind of reminds me of the video a little bit like BAP's One Shot. But again, even though it may remind me a little bit of someone else's work, it still has enough of its own flavor to have its own identity. I like the style for this video as well of the boys. Some of the stuff though in the video, some of the shots, I don't know who directed this, but some of the shots were a little bit kind of repetitive a little bit in the video when they do the choreography. And not to say that all K-pop videos, have different shots. Some of them reuse the same footage. When they do choreography or certain shots, they reuse the same thing. However, it was a little bit less noticeable. In this video, it was a little bit more noticeable that the director were kind of recapping some and reusing some of the same shots. Not on a continuous basis, but at least a few times where you can catch it and you're like, wait a minute, I saw this like 13, 15 seconds ago, the same shot. The exact same shot. So that was a little buggy, but nothing to complain about. So all in all, I thought Danger was a solid track. Video was fun, and hopefully Bangtan Boys can win a reward, because their last comeback, which was on Boy in Love, they were nominated for an award, but they didn't. They were close, but they didn't cross that finish line. So hopefully they'll be able to finally win their first award for this year. As for the album itself, this is Bangtan Boys' very first full-length album that they themselves have worked hard on. They've worked on everything from the composing to the writing, whatever. I think for this to be their first full-length album, it's not the best full-length album I've heard this year. However, for it to be their first knock and their first try, it's not a bad album as well. There are a couple tracks in here that stand out to me more than others. That stand out to me more than others. Besides the title track, Stranger. I like the song 24/7 Heaven. That song is really a nice, slow pace, urban vibe kind of like song. Cypher Part 3 is mad dope. Just like all the other Cyphers. Cypher Part 2 is still my favorite, but Cypher Part 3 is still just as good. There's another song in here, Hang Up the Phone or something like that, or Don't Pick Up the Phone. That's a nice solid track as well. I forgot the last, because it's a 12 or 11 track album. I forgot the last title track, or track on that album that I really like. Forgot the name of it, but it's like the shortest one that they had, but it's really nice. Other songs on the album I felt they were good, but they kind of felt like B-side tracks, tracks that, you may not put on, an album, but one of those tracks that you may think about putting on the album, but you just kind of toss aside, kind of figure, maybe not. And it's not down at all. I mean, all the songs on the album are good. Some stick out to me more than others. However, the album as a whole, it's not terrible and it's not bad, but it's one I wouldn't say. I don't think the full album would stand out as much, but it's something I wouldn't pass up either. I think it's a solid effort for a first full-length album. You definitely hear the quality and production work and blood, sweat, and tears that they put in it. Not knocking that at all. So if I was to score the album as a whole, I would give it a 7 out of 10. The entire Bangtan Boy album here, which I forgot the name of it. But yeah, you guys give me your thoughts on Bangtan Boy's comeback. What do you think of the song and of Danger? What do you think of the whole album itself? And what are your favorite tracks on the album? Comment, subscribe. Peace.